Hello everybody, my name is Sasha Grossman. I am a senior at Virginia Tech and I'm from Fairfax, Virginia in Northern Virginia. I've lived there my whole entire life with my parents and my twin brother Aaron, who goes to George Mason. I am studying political science with a focus in legal studies, and a little bit about me and my academia interests are that they lie primarily in everything and anything that has to do with the law. Ideally, I will attend law school at some point a few years after graduation. I would like to work first, but some of my favorite classes that I've taken and books you can commonly see me reading when they're not school books are anything that has to do with judicial processes, administrative law. One of my favorite classes that I've taken is literature in the law, and any way that I can better understand how mandates and other historical events have influenced the laws that we have today and how those are interpreted, how agencies interpret them, and how they are regulated by the agencies and the private sector and the public sector in our lives. I'm also very interested in policy development and legislative authority. Some of the places that I've interned in specialize in policy development, bipartisan institutes, and educating students and prospective individuals who are interested in running for office about anything that has to do with policy development and voting. Make sure you vote this November if you haven't registered already. I've also worked a lot in the nonprofit sector, more specifically in disability advocacy. That's always been a passion of mine, and international development. Those are two passions of mine outside of the law. I worked for a company called Higher Autism. That was the first internship I ever had, whose goal was to help individuals with autism find and achieve meaningful employment, which is something that is very, very difficult, that comes with oppressive and stereotypical barriers. Aforementioned, I'm very interested in international development, and when I went abroad last year, I got the chance to spend a month in Rwanda and learn about gender equality, and it was one of the most meaningful and awesome experiences of my life, other than getting to spend 2 months in Switzerland on the Lugano trip. My favorite place I visited when I went abroad was Prague, and probably Budapest. I had never visited Eastern Europe before, and to me it was absolutely amazing. Hopefully, when we don't have a pandemic, if you ever need a recommendation of where to go, I had the time of my life in Prague, and I would love to go back one day. The next place I would like to visit is Israel. If you couldn't tell by my last name, it's Grossman. I'm Jewish. So hopefully at the end of this year, upon graduation, I will go on Birthright. And for those of you who don't know what Birthright is, it's a free trip for Jewish people to go to Israel and experience what life is like there between the ages of, I think, 18 and 27. So hopefully I'll get to do that if the world is back to normal at all. Throughout this pandemic, one thing I have enjoyed is getting to spend more time with my family in the 6 months that we were at home. I have a twin brother, Aaron, and we're very, very close. We're fraternal. When you're boys and girls, you can't be identical, but he is my best friend in the whole entire world. And because we don't go to school together, I don't get to see him all the time. So it was definitely awesome for me to get to spend a lot more time with him being home. And my parents, obviously. He is a music major at George Mason and the most talented person I know. Multifaceted talents in absolutely every aspect of music you could imagine. He plays every instrument, has perfect pitch, everything except singing. One thing I didn't enjoy, obviously, was having our semester cut short but I think on the other hand, it did give me a lot of time to do my own self-reflection and figure out other interests of mine, such as getting more time to read. My favorite author is Stephen King. Another favorite author of mine, his name is Scott Turow. He writes a lot of really interesting law books. And so, yeah, I guess the peak of my quarantine was getting more time to myself to figure out what I'm interested in, how best to spend my time, and how best to spend it alone when we're not here with friends, obviously. My current show that I'm watching is Last Chance U. That's probably one of my favorite shows on Netflix, next to Narcos. And one question I have about this class for this upcoming semester is, how is international development, or abroad experiences for those who have gone abroad, going to intertwine with the content and leadership aspect as a whole? So in summation, I'm very excited to hopefully get to know some of you guys through videos and learn from each other. I hope you enjoyed hearing a little bit about me and my scattered thoughts, but thanks for listening, and that's me. Thanks.